Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. Every once in a while, we like to throw you a curveball rather than our usual produced content. We like to do a little live stream, a little hangout, a little AMA. Variety, it's the spice of life. But beyond that, every once in a while, we like to bring on a guest. Now, we choose these guests not based on people who think exactly like us, who, are in the same tribe as us. We like to bring people from different tribes. We like to bring people who are different, think differently, and talk to them and pick their brains. So today, I'd like to introduce a friend of ours. We met this guy in San Francisco at a cryptocurrency event. He has one of the fastest growing YouTube channels as of late, a TikTok account called the CEO of Facts with over 1 million subscribers. You know him, Benjamin Armstrong.
What is going on?
Are we live?
I think so. I think it just should have went live right now. Ben, how are you doing today?
Yes, I'm doing great. You sold me short. I'm 2.5 million on TikTok. Okay.
Dude, nobody believes that. Dude, nobody believes that you have
I'm a TikTok legend. Yeah. It's funny because, I have more followers on TikTok than literally anyone else in crypto has on everything combined. So,
and how does that is it easy to translate that to YouTube and funnel them into each other?
It's funny because I think, sorry, I'm trying to get the stream pulled up on my end because I'm doing it as well. Here it is. Okay. It's funny because people think that my growth on YouTube is because of my growth on TikTok. And that is not true at all. There has been very little carryover from TikTok over to my crypto stuff. Just in the last couple of weeks have I actually kind of started talking about a little more crypto. I have kind of a Trojan horse strategy, which is once Bitcoin starts going up, then I can start pulling, people from mainstream in, but I have another channel, another YouTube channel, CEO of Facts. And that is at, I think I'm almost at about 60,000 subscribers over there also. So
cool.
Yeah.
So in today's video, we're talking about everything cryptocurrency. See, I'm a big Bitcoin guy. I like to talk about the whole space. I think sometimes Ben makes fun of me for being so hardcore Bitcoin as of late. But we're going to talk, you guys. Yeah, we're going to talk about it all. We're going to, if anybody in the chat has questions, Austin is going to be keeping track of that, but anything goes in this stream. And again, this is just a hangout. Tomorrow we'll have a regular produced video.
Yeah, dude. So let me ask you this. We are 6 months into 2020. Mm-hmm. What's your take on this year so far for crypto, and where do you see us going next 6 months?
Well, I have been really surprised to see, as much of a proponent of altcoins as I am. I mean, a lot of people know that I've never given up on altcoins. When it was popular to say they were going to die, I never said it. So even that being said, I've still been surprised how much altcoins have really ran in the last couple of weeks, especially after the March crash. I mean, we know how many of the DeFi projects have absolutely taken off. I mean, it's doubled in the last month alone, the overall money in DeFi. So even I have been surprised by how far these have ran. I'm not surprised at all on what Bitcoin has done. Bitcoin's exactly where it should be right now. If you go back and you look at the history of Bitcoin, basically what we got during the cycle is we got a crash built in. We got a halving crash built in because of the stock market crash. So that got baked in March. And I had been saying ever since probably October, November, that if we were just at $8,000 on the day of the halving, we were right on track for 6-figure Bitcoin, everything we want. And so that happened. We were actually close to 10, had a little crash around 9, a couple days before the halving. And now we are just now at the time where Bitcoin should start climbing. Will we have another big dip? I personally don't think so, but we may. I think we're going to be at, above all-time highs by the end of the year. I think we'll be somewhere between, 30 and 50 by the end of the year. And then next year is going to be the most incredible year of our entire lives.
Well, let me ask you, and obviously anything could happen. We're not financial advisors, but when you say you don't think another big dip is coming, not counting wicks, like how low do you think Bitcoin could go? Are you saying never below 7,000 again? Is that 8,000 is a regular dip?
I mean, if you look at the history of Bitcoin after the halvings, once you get kind of a big wick down, okay, And I think that big wick was right before the halving. You get continued growth upwards. You don't see retracing. You'll see once the price starts pumping, you'll see retracements within that. But I mean, as long as the wild card in all this is the stock market, if we had a gigantic stock market crash, okay, which I just go back and forth. A few weeks ago, I said it was definitely happening. Last week, I was saying, I don't think it's happening. Now this week, I'm kind of saying like, I don't know. Now we're starting to talk about canceling sports again. We're talking about, shutting down businesses, shutting down states again, not having school. I mean, some states are already saying they're not having school at all this year.
We're shut down in Los Angeles. Well,
yeah.
LA is shut down.
Yeah.
Again.
I'm in Georgia. I'm going on vacation every 2 weeks. It's no big deal. We never close. Okay. We're dirty South right here. Okay. So anyways, I don't think we're going to have a massive crash. I don't think we're going down to 7,000. I don't think so. I think if we dip, it's going to be upper eights and then we're off to the races. But after the races, it's a slow movement at first when Bitcoin starts moving up. So we can move up to 95, 10,000, go back to 95. But ultimately, I think we're stair stepping up from here as long as we don't have a gigantic market crash.
Now, let me jump in. I want to get to know you. I love your channel, but I want to get to know you as a person even more. So you said like, oh, I was never the guy to say alts are dead or anything. What is, it's fun to speculate, and every once in a while, everybody will do videos speculating on this or that. But you personally, what's your thoughts on Bitcoin versus everything else? Or I guess just generally, we'll start there.
Bitcoin has first mover advantage. There's no question about that. And I think a lot of people get confused on what that means. A lot of people take that to mean that it was here first. And so it's just going to be, the end all be all. We all know the tech of Bitcoin does not stack up. It does not stack up to any current cryptocurrencies pretty much.
So what, I mean, you're not a Bitcoiner. You're definitely an altcoiner. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. Let me finish here. Okay. I'm not against Bitcoin. I'm not against Bitcoin. I want to get that out in the beginning. I'm not against Bitcoin, but if Bitcoin were to launch today, it would fail miserably. Okay. It can't compete with the speed of other cryptocurrencies right now. It just can't. The strength in Bitcoin, I would argue, is twofold. Number one, the strength in Bitcoin is its value, like just its store of value. It's gold 2.0. It's not a currency. It's not ever going to be a digital currency. And I think people have a hard time wrapping their mind around that because that was the original purpose. It is gold 2.0. Its scarcity and its value goes way past any other value it may have. Second of all, the size of the network and the amount of money involved already in Bitcoin is what gives it almost an insurmountable lead when it comes to number one in market cap. It can't be hacked. Okay. There are some people that talk about, oh, well, China could do this and China could do that. There's not really much anybody could do to bring down the Bitcoin network. And that's just a fact. So because of that, it does have strength. Okay. Bitcoin's going to make it. It's just not going to make it as a digital currency. I can send you Nano. I can send you Digibyte. I can even send you Tron in about 10 seconds. But Bitcoin ain't going to happen. You're never going to be able to use Bitcoin, scan a QR code and send it. You think retail places are going to use the Lightning Network? Like, how nerdy do you think people are? The Lightning Network is extremely complicated. Most people can't even figure out how to use it, period. Okay. That's not going to happen. So there's other currencies, maybe even state-funded digital currencies that aren't even cryptocurrencies, centralized, will be that digital currency. Bitcoin, its value is in the size and it's in gold. With that being said, I think altcoins are bar none, much better in many different aspects: speed, transaction costs, functionality, smart contracts, whatever. But when it comes down to what I believe about altcoins in general, is they're so highly speculative that we're just all going to make a lot of money on them. Who cares if they have a use case? Like, that's the end of the day. We're all going to make money. What are my long-term holds? My long-term holds are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and maybe CRO. Nothing outside of that. And when I say long-term, I mean like years down the road, things I actually think will make it and survive. Every other cryptocurrency outside of specifically Bitcoin, Chainlink, and Ethereum, they're questionable whether they'll survive. But even if 95% of cryptocurrencies die, we're still left with 500. If 99% die, we're still left with 50. So there are altcoins that have a lot of value. And over time, some of that utility is going to come to bear. You look at something like Basic Attention Token, it's got, good utility, regardless of the little scandal they had and things like that. You definitely do have some stable coins. You have some good projects. You got some DeFi stuff that has a good chance to make it. But overall, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. I've owned Bitcoin. I'm a big proponent of Bitcoin. I just think that its value is as gold. It is not as digital currency, and that opens up the door for altcoins.
A lot of stuff there. You're totally on a different wavelength than me, and I love it, dude. That's why I like talking to different people. But like as far as like speed goes, as far as like a nano, like first of all, nobody wants to pay for anything with cryptocurrency. It's all everybody's treating it like an investment.
For people that we know.
Like the retail is all treating it like it's an investment. Nobody's going to be paying for it besides, Roger Ver. I mean, do you think like a cryptocurrency, needs to be, I don't know, Liz, what are your general thoughts on the fact that do you agree that Bitcoin is the most decentralized, most censorship resistant, and that's good for its longevity, but other things like Electronium, Nano, because it's more centralized, if they ever scaled, it would be easier for the governments to stop them?
Well, once again, we get back to that first mover advantage. Bitcoin was able to get in and build a network before there was a craze that caused SEC attention. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Bitcoin was able to slip in underneath all those rules. So if Bitcoin came out today, you would look at it the same way that you look at what people call shitcoins. You would look at it the exact same way. You would not say, oh my gosh, look at this crazy thing that's so decentralized. You would pick it apart the same way that you pick everything else apart,
Sure. Not denying that. But like, because Bitcoin did have the first mover advantage, was able to, scale or whatever without a market value, and the first exchange and everything. It's, nobody's saying, I think that's why I do think, I am a big like Bitcoin first guy, because Bitcoin's not going away. Nano,
do you believe it's going to be a currency?
I think it doesn't. Let me just jump in real quick. I think it doesn't have to be a currency for it to go up. I think store value. I think there was a lot of friction back in 16 and 17 when everybody heard it was this new type of money and currency, and people didn't understand what that meant. So they tried to send it, and it was like, it was hard, or it took a little longer to send, and there was transaction fees. Yeah, exactly. I think this cycle that people, when the narrative of digital gold store value, it's going to make things a lot more frictionless for people to buy Bitcoin. And then, sorry, what was the question? What was that?
Nobody remembers.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
we have two super chats that I do want to get to, but also just my take on that.
Oh yeah, sorry. I did remember what I was going to say. As far as using Bitcoin as a means of payment, I don't think that's necessary for price to go up, and I don't think fast, cheap payments are the value proposition. I can Venmo you the fastest right now, or the fastest things are more centralized. But I do think, and again, I'm not a developer. I just base what I know based on listening to Bitcoin podcasts and YouTubers and stuff, and the stuff I read, that not this cycle, but eventually down the line, Lightning Network will be viable to make microtransactions. You disagree?
Yeah, I disagree. No, I don't think so.
So you think all these Bitcoiners are crazy?
Why would you? I mean, when you've got so many other options that are already there, they're already doing it. They're already faster. Bitcoin Cash is faster than Bitcoin. I can name in 30 seconds, I can name 20 that are faster and send instantly.
Yeah, but nobody cares about faster.
Why would you think 5 years down the road, when that thing becomes viable, that none of these other digital currencies, and hey, let's be for real about this, it's going to be the digital yuan or the digital dollar. That's what it's going to be. Or it's going to be Libra. That's what it's going to be. That's going to be the digital currency we're all using. And all we can hope for is that we might have something that can compete with those, or that once people are able to understand how to use blockchain wallets, because the government's given to them, that eventually people will be like, oh, wait, the government's controlling us, because, people are so aware, right? And people are so aware, I'm sure that's going to happen. And maybe they'll, open up to some other altcoins or to Bitcoin or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, that's probably what we're going to be using. So, I mean, hey, let's use this next bull run, and let's all get rich. Let's all make money off of it while we can,
at a certain point, everything is just going to go up. You know, a lot of people think maybe it's after Bitcoin hits 20,000. It's whenever retail gets back in. I agree with you generally, but the problem is we want to be able to figure out what's going to stay past the dump, or, you know, we don't want to get stuck holding Tron, you know, that's all I'm saying.
I just told you what it is. It's
okay. It's
Ethereum and Chainlink. There you go. That's all you guys know. Maybe CRO.
Highly centralized. How can you say Crow has a longevity when it's so centralized? I'm not hating on it. I'm not saying
because it's a easy pathway to passive income where you can make money off of staking these different long-term projects.
But how can you say it has longevity when once somebody goes after that CEO? I'm not saying it's going to happen or I want it to happen.
Well,
I'm
that's
just
why
saying
I say
that's the risk.
Listen. That's why I say possibly CRO. I feel like CRO to me is one that has a chance to get to that upper level. I'm not putting it on that upper level right now. That's why I say Ethereum, Chainlink, Bitcoin, maybe CRO, maybe Cardano. Maybe if Cardano is able to get into decentralized finance and is able to actually live up to its potential and push Ethereum in this next run, which I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, that could potentially be one. It's had a lot of hype for a long time. Smart contract platforms are going to be here to stay. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, that's the whole thing that's opened up decentralized finance. So, we just don't know who those long-term, projects are going to be. When you look at the cyclical nature of altcoins and Bitcoin, we know that a lot of the projects that we look at right now as the top of the class are not going to be the top of the class this time next year. They're just not going to be. And with the movement we're going to see in this market, we're going to see way more wild movement than we probably ever seen before from the top to the bottom and the bottom back to the top. And guys, I see somebody dropped a super chat on my channel.
Yeah, let's get to all the super chats right now. Let's do it.
All right, BitBoy, you go first.
Well, somebody just asked me to do a review on Cardiachain. That's a new, they just partnered with Chainlink today. So yeah, that's one that I will look at. It wasn't.
All right, let's end the interview so BitBoy can take now the whole audience through the review.
Hold on. Can I just go ahead and just Cardiachain 1000X? Is that what your people want to see?
No.
People act like clickbait has not been around since yellow journalism in the friggin' 1800s. Okay, like if you guys would actually stop looking at my thumbnails and watching my videos and actually listening to what I'm saying, you might actually not hate me as much as you do, but I'm going to hate the crap out of you. Okay. I'm a sensei.
Okay. Well, just generally hate the, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know, we only do what works on YouTube. Austin, what are some super chats we have?
Hey, the Smith family super chat at $10. And he says, thanks guys. Thanks Smith family.
Smith's cool.
Wendell, super chat at $2. And he says, love to know your thoughts on Litecoin and ADA. And then we have one more so we can do these all together. What is your favorite undervalued project?
So Litecoin and ADA first, BitBoy. What do you think?
Litecoin is one. I mean, I think I've already kind of given my opinion on ADA. I like ADA. ADA is not a scam. If ADA is a scam, then you're just the type of person that believes that all coins are scams, and that's fine if that's your opinion. But I think it's going to do well. Once again, regardless of what actually it puts out, it's going to do well in the next bull run. You can mark that down. Long term, how the platform actually works, I think the key is going to be how they get into DeFi. That is going to be the key to Cardano, being able to really establish itself and maybe challenge something like Ethereum. Litecoin, on the other hand, it's the most perplexing one to me, honestly, because you always feel like Litecoin is going to fall out because it's got no hype behind it right now. The community doesn't really seem to grow. It got big, in 2017 because it got listed on Coinbase and people were using it to send money because it was, cheaper to send that than to send Bitcoin and stuff like that. But yet somehow it just always manages to be in the top 10. It's the very most consistent altcoin throughout the history of the altcoin market. Ethereum, once it was established in 2014, obviously has been the number 2 or number 3 spot. XRP has been very high. But
Doge?
Doge is not in the top 10. I mean, Litecoin's been so consistent in the top 10 for its entire history. So I on one hand, it's like I've got nothing to think, nothing to make myself think that it's going to do extremely well on the next run. But then again, the history says it's going to be there. So those are my thoughts on those. What do you guys think?
I have a question for you, BitBoy. So are you saying, because you're so definitive by saying, this is not something people don't necessarily say out loud, but we all kind of think that everything is going to go up.
Yeah,
all, obviously, because we know all the infrastructure and plumbing is so built out, the awareness is so
it's just cyclical,
ubiquitous. But are you saying like all 5,000 plus coins will be at a higher price point than today? Is that what you're saying?
No, absolutely not. There's a lot of those that are already dead completely, and no, I mean, if your coin 4,752 coin market cap probably doesn't even have accurate numbers on you, and you're really listed, just because you were grandfathered in or for some other reason. No, but almost all the coins in the top 500, I would say, are going to do really well. You might have some that go defunct during that time. Certainly, all the coins in the top 100 are going to do well. How far it trickles down from there, it's anybody's guess. But we've already seen projects. I talked. We can kind of lead this into undervalued projects, unless you guys want to give. You guys want to give opinions on Litecoin ADA, or do you guys know those exist or no?
Of course, dude. We talk about the whole crypto.
I kid. I watch your thumbnails. Okay.
I mean,
do you watch your videos or just
sometimes?
Yeah, I feel you. Once
if
you're
researching stuff from y'all.
All right.
I kid. I've never stolen anything.
I don't care. I mean, everybody kind of takes what they like, and
I mean, how many topics are there? Yeah,
5,000. But as far as Litecoin goes, I think it will pump. It's an oscillator. As far as like long-term value, if it turns into another store of value, maybe. I mean, I think people in the end would just rather have Bitcoin than Litecoin. But that being said, it does pump. As far as Cardano goes, I mean, I did want to ask you. We actually planned this question. We're like, back in San Francisco, when we were interviewing everybody, back in San Francisco,
conference.
Back in San Francisco, we asked you, what coins are you liking? It was the end of the evening. Everybody was having fun. And you said, I like Cardano because they have no product. While everything else is nitpicked, and people find flaws because the code and everything's out there, Cardano has no product, so I think it's going to do well. Now that Cardano is getting a product, has your views changed, or you think it's...
No, absolutely not. I think that while it had no product, it helped it tremendously. I think now that it does have a product...
Go down.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to go down. I think now...
But what do you say? It helped it tremendously when it had no product. It just went down, right? It went to 2 cents.
Okay, let me explain what I mean by this. Okay,
sorry, sure, please.
Yeah, right. Because I understand that you guys are looking at this in terms of the actual price. Okay, now it's look at the market cap where it is now. It's sitting at number 6, I believe. So while not having it, not having a product, may not have helped it financially, Cardano was still able to stay relevant during that time. What did we see from Tron? What did we see from Tron and their product? Where were they when we were in San Francisco? Where are they now?
Hosting us.
They were hosting us. Love that party. Thank you, Tron, for that. But what I'm saying is Tron has dropped pretty considerably. What is the other platform that's close to Cardano that's been in the top 10?
EOS.
What's happened to it?
Nothing.
What is the top platform in the top 10 right now outside of Ethereum? Cardano.
How is it the top? Oh, just by market cap?
DApp platform.
Yeah, a smart contract DApp platform. Outside of Ethereum.
There's no dApps on it. So I'm saying, how is it the top? Just by market cap?
Yeah, financially. Okay. Yeah. So EOS, I mean, they've had several forks by people that were unhappy with their governance. There's been a lot of stories about Tron's governance and supposed, centralization with the way that their, super delegates vote and all this stuff. Maybe they're all owned by Tron. Like, there's a lot of allegations going towards all of those governance issues. Okay, what happened to BitTorrent? What's going on? All of those issues have hurt those other products. They've gone down in value. Cardano, on the other hand, it stayed, sideways dormant for a long time. But now that it's finally getting ready to launch, see, I always thought in the very beginning, I was very bearish on Cardano because I thought by the time it got their product out, that these other dApp platforms were going to be able to way past them.
I remember that time, yeah.
Yeah, but that is not bared out to be true. What's bared out to be true is that actually the timing of that roadmap was immaculate. Was it timed this way on purpose to go with the cycle of the market so that the product is coming out? Because in 2016, 2017, all of us thought, no matter how long people have been in Bitcoin, the euphoria took over, and it made people think, regardless of what we've seen in the past, that it was going to pump forever. But the true OGs of the market cycles, the people that know the ins and outs, they understood that's not ever going to be the case. And going forward, I understand that's not the case. That's why I'm already telling my people, well, watch out, August, September next year, be ready to pull out, because it's cyclical.
Wait, so you're saying the top is going to be in near the end of the year in 2021?
Oh, September 28th. That's the day. There you go.
Well, why do you say that?
Because okay. People, I know there's people laughing at that. Okay. I know that.
Because you're so definitive.
It's very definitive. Now, will it literally be on that day? Very possibly not. But if you look at the market cycles of Bitcoin, the number of days that Bitcoin spends going up in an upward cycle, I think it's from the halving on. Well, no, that wouldn't make sense. There's a chart I covered on video. I can't remember exactly what video it was. If you Google my channel, okay, and you search
link in the description.
Yeah, link in the description. Go to my channel, search like the last day of the bull market or something like that. There is an exact day period where every single Bitcoin cycle has had one side that goes up a certain amount of days, and then the next side goes down. I think it's the amount of days from the actual bottom of the market to the peak to the crash, something like that. Is the exact same number of days. Is the exact same number of days. And I wish I had that sitting right in front of me because I could sound a lot smarter. But the long and the short of it is, objectively, we can look at the cycles of Bitcoin and we can predict when the market is going to end. And in 2016, 2017, people thought it was going to go up forever. And I was one of them. I thought it was going to go up forever. But this next cycle, it will end. And it will end right on time. And people will think the same thing that they thought, that Bitcoin's at 300K. There's no way it can crash. It's going straight to $1 million from here. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to drop. It's going to go back to about $10,000. And this time going forward, hey, I'm ready for that.
Doesn't to predict next year at a specific date doesn't really depend on a ton what the traditional markets do, because
it depends on so much.
But cryptocurrency has only known traditional bull markets for 12, 11 years or whatever. It's like eventually that's gonna end.
No, BitBoy's saying that doesn't matter. That's nice that you think that, but no. You got to look at his video.
Yeah, you got to go watch that video and you'll understand. It's, right. I mean, it's very, precise. I mean, if you look at the number, it's like literally within 1 day of each other, the first half of the cycle and the second half of the cycle, and when it ends. And it's been for all 3 Bitcoin cycles in the past, the exact same. So yes, one day I'm sure it will be off kilter, but why would you anticipate the exception to the rule? Isn't that what technical analysis is all about? Like taking history and taking charts and taking graphs. Yeah, it may not be the exact same, but it's probably going to be similar. And the thing about Bitcoin is that supply shock of the halving that we get every 4 years has supply and demand economics built into Bitcoin and built into these cycles. So that's what makes these cycles so predictable. Now, eventually you might say there won't be enough money in the world to continue pumping Bitcoin. And that may be when things stabilize, but I can tell you this, it's not going to be this cycle, maybe I can find that chart because I really would like to show it to you guys. It's pretty phenomenal.
Maybe next time you come on, we'd love to see it. I just we have 5 super chats. Guys, if we can just do a speed round with these.
But BitBoy, give the full answers. That's what the people paid for.
That's true. But
what was the rest of the question? I forgot. The full answer?
For which question?
Yeah.
No, we're going into it right now. BitBoy's saying, what are the questions? Give it to him.
Okay. Hey, from Greg Brown, tip $10. You can choose to answer this. I don't know if this is a troll or not, but he's saying XRP not being mentioned by BitBoy.
Thoughts on XRP?
Thoughts on XRP? Why would they associate with me XRP? Because I make some videos about XRP sometimes. So do you guys. What's big?
Everybody does.
I'm not some kind of XRP guy. I don't know why anybody would.
Easy. I don't think anybody is accusing you of being an XRP guy. The guy just wants to know your thoughts.
Yeah, well, but he phrased it in a trolley type way.
He did phrase it in a trolley way. Yeah. I am actually kind of bearish on XRP right now. Now, here's the thing. When people start to get bearish on these projects that do consistently well over years and years and years, that's when they usually start to pick up. People were really bullish on Cardano or bearish on Cardano over the last couple months. Look what happened. So maybe my bearish feeling about it might be a bullish sign. I know, or the reverse psychology maybe, but I think XRP is, ultimately, I don't know really what its use is. I mean, if we're moving to a digital world with digital currencies and we got digital yuan and we got digital dollar, why do we need to be transferring digital or, hard fiat? So, I mean, hey, XRP is very well established, has a lot of money behind it, and, it'll probably pump. Will it stay in the number 3 spot? I predict a Chainlink will pass it.
The people say I'm not an XRP guy, but I guess the argument is that banks will use it because it's the intermediary or whatever.
It'll be settled between governments.
It's not going to be like Libra. It's going to be for the banks. Do you think? Yeah. But that being said, X current, they can just use the.
Did they rename it? I think they renamed it, didn't they?
Well, X current is without the token. X Rapid got renamed.
But it's called on demand.
What was the rename on that? Do you remember?
On demand liquidity is one of the names.
Yeah. I knew one of them got renamed.
But so people aren't going to be using it as a means of payment, but you don't believe for XRP that the banks will use it as this decentralized intermediary. You're going against to the lifeboats, to thinking crypto. You're saying those guys, they're wrong.
Which guys? Say that question again. I don't think I understood the question.
I'm just saying you saying that banks fundamentally, XRP, the token is useless. There's people on YouTube thinking crypto, good guy. To the lifeboats, good guy.
Okay. You're referencing those YouTube channels
who fundamentally think XRP will be used by banks, but you're saying I don't think so.
Some, but I think what you're starting to see. I mean, it will be. We all know the XRP community has a hard time being intellectually honest. They're so blinded by their love for XRP. It's hard for them sometimes to be objective, and I try to be objective about XRP. I give it its props for things it does well, but I also criticize it for things that I don't really see taking off in the future. We all know that there are a ton of banks using their systems, but they're not using their tokens. So what gives here? What's the disconnect? Is it just the adoption of cryptocurrency is not hit yet? I mean, I don't know. But I think over the long term, unless Ripple is able to establish some government contracts with like the Fed and be able to work with the digital dollar somehow, I don't see the future of banks really in the way that they are currently formatted. So, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on that. I've never thought that Bitcoin, and that's why I don't list XRP as one of my long-term huddles, because I don't see Bitcoin and XRP existing in the same world 10, 15 years from now. Like if we're all digital, what's the purpose of the cross-border payment system? And the whole $589 XRP is based on all the money in banks going into XRP. Well, if we have that much adoption in cryptocurrency, then we're not going to need that. So it's kind of that catch-22 for XRP. But hey, don't hear me wrong, guys. XRP gonna pump this year.
Yeah, they got tons of money for marketing. Of course they're going to pump, I would say.
You know what? Ellen's going to need a segment.
Ellen?
They were on Ellen years ago.
Kutcher.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I heard she has a house arrest bracelet on. Let's not get into that.
Hey, that was one super chat question. We now have 5 additional ones.
Well, I have one real quick. I want to, it's just a statement. It says, it's from my boy, Low Key Money. He's got a channel on YouTube. You guys go check him out. He says, let's be real. If it's not an ETH token, it's a hassle. No way Cardano or any other chain gets to steal some DeFi market share. Good gains, though. Okay. Just one opinion. I think there will be more chains fighting it out.
Isn't that the risk for Cardano, though, that they can have wild success if all those things on DeFi Pulse move over to Cardano, or if all those things on Tron's blockchain move over to Cardano, that wouldn't be success. Just like,
well, but what about new things? I mean, there will be plenty of new things too.
But like I'm just saying, like just because people can build on it doesn't mean it's going to be quality projects. We've seen that with Tron, right? Isn't that a risk?
I think Tron had a pretty quality product to be built on. I mean, they copied some of it from Ethereum.
But I'm saying the projects that actually built on them, they're just like all gambling stuff. Unlike what we see with Ethereum, all those on the DeFi Pulse, like the DeFi or whatever. Isn't that the risk that just because Cardano, you can move on to build on Cardano, doesn't mean you're going to see those quality projects because it didn't work for Tron or EOS.
Yeah, right. What Cardano is at a starting place to determine now what they're going to be able to do. And yeah, that's why I said once again, maybe Cardano is a long-term hold. Maybe. I'm not ruling it out, but it may flop. It may flop huge. I don't think Cardano is going to do great. I don't think Cardano is like predestined because science to like do well, but I think let's see what it can do. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what it can do. Let's give it some room to run. See if you know, if in a year from now nothing's on it, then yeah, who cares? It failed, you know?
I like that.
Maybe Cardano is a long-term hold. It's possible all 500 top coins are a long-term hold, and probably some of them will be like last longer than others. But I think definitively right now we can say Bitcoin is a long-term hold. I can understand the argument for Ethereum, but beyond that,
Ethereum for sure. I don't think there's an argument. I think Ethereum for sure.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just saying. So a Bitcoin and Ethereum. Other than that, I would say, you know, everything's going to pump in this next cycle, but I wouldn't want to be left holding bags necessarily. We'll see what happens.
That's why you got cash out on September 27th. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
hey, cash out. I gave you the day. Okay.
I'm going to be coming back to this live stream in a year from now and
pull the clips.
Pull the clips. Yeah.
Roll them. Y'all are going to love what you're going to see. What y'all are going to see is that, you know, people were too busy calling me a shiller to notice that I'm the one true oracle. Okay. That has the exact date.
Oh my God.
Of the end of the market.
But you say that tongue in cheek a little bit. Of course. Okay.
No, he is the one true oracle.
I am the one true oracle.
Hey, Smart Digital Payments tipped $5. Just a statement. So maybe, you know, a yes or a no from you guys. Pundi X is a sleeping giant. We are pushing Pundi X point of sale devices, and we are doing big things.
He is, or
Smart Digital Payments.
Like, what does it mean? He is. Like
That's what his name is. Smart Digital Payments.
Okay. Anyway,
so smart. So you trust what he says. I recently listed MPX as one of my crypto zombies. Okay, coins back from the dead, and I do think Pundi X has, you know, a decent chance.
It's a useless token. We agree on that. It's a useless token. The only reason it could gain adoption is if that point of service device gets adoption.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that, but yeah, I mean, I'll accept that. Well, I mean, they also have like digital payments. I mean, they have an app. It's not just the POS.
But just like Ripple, you can just use the app. I mean, they make it so you have to use the token, but like
I've always said that the reason why I went bearish on Pundi X in the after when it first came out, I was like, this is going to do well, and it did well in terms of price.
That's because it did well in like the like I agree with you, it did great, but like it did well at the height of the peak of the altcoin bubble. Everything did well.
Yeah. No, you're wrong on that. No.
Okay.
That was not. I don't think that was the height when I think Pundi X actually had a peak after.
Okay, maybe it did
after
do well.
the market officially popped.
But it was still
we're talking about a month or two. I mean, we're not talking.
Yeah, exactly. It was still before people realized this is going to be a multi-year bear market. From my recollection, I remember crypto coin news or some YouTube channel pumping Pundi X hard. It was like I remember it during the time when those YouTube channels who have since left were still around.
Yeah. But my big problem with it in the beginning was, you know, the same problem I would see for it in the future, which is I think that if Square wanted to crush Pundi X any day of the week, they could. Any large company that wanted to create their own POS for crypto adoption could do it. PayPal could do it. Any of them could do it and absolutely crush Pundi X. And it was really important for Pundi X to get out ahead really far, to be able to establish themselves really well before some of that larger mainstream adoption came in. And now what we've seen with the PayPal news you guys covered yesterday, and then I covered on my channel today. No coincidence. Okay.
It's okay. Everybody already saw it, but
I kid. And the PayPal news we all covered, you know, about a month ago, whatever it was, that's showing that is coming. And I don't think Pundi X has made a big enough adjustment, a big enough, you know, base in order to prevent getting taken over eventually. Maybe they can merge, maybe get bought out, whatever. But however, it's going to pump. Okay. It's going to pump. Just real quick. Last thing I want to say here. We didn't ever answer that most undervalued cryptocurrency. And I want to give a shout out to my little baby here, my little crypto baby, which is Nimic. Nimic is my number one top.
How is that undervalued? That thing pumped.
It's still undervalued. I'm telling you,
that's competing for the market.
I'm telling you, dude, it's still undervalued.
It might be undervalued, but that's competing.
It's going to go to the top 50. It's going to go to the top 50. You guys watch and see.
But it's going to be a pump. Well, tell me why you say that. But I don't know that much about Nimic, but it had like pump. It's skyrocketed recently. And you go on their website and it says, we are money. We are decentralized, censorship resistant money. It's basically saying we are a better Bitcoin. But in reality, that's like the quintessential example of a shit coin, right? I mean, there's no way people use it.
You can apply that to every altcoin though. I mean, really, but once again,
but it's not, but it's, yeah, it's trying to do something.
Are we digging into the tech of all these projects? Because once again, for the
let's dig into the value.
The biggest mistake that anyone makes is thinking the tech matters. So it does not matter at all. Absolutely zero.
I just made it.
And if you think it does,
you must be watching my videos. You must be watching my videos. You must be watching my videos because I say all the time it's all based on just
fundamentals.
Yeah, pump and marketing and all that stuff. I use the example of IOTA all the time. How it got hacked.
100,000% returns. IOTA to the ICO.
Well, yeah, because after the ICO, it got hacked or like something in it got hacked. But beyond that, it got taken offline for a month or two, proving it was very censored and permissioned. And the price didn't go down 1 iota. In fact, it pumped to the rest of the market. So I agree with you that, the fundamentals don't matter.
But I want to hear about most undervalued coin. Yeah.
So you're saying NIMIC is the most undervalued, even though it's gone up by like 1,000% thus far. How is it the most undervalued?
I'm telling you guys,
So tell me, give a
screenshot. Somebody screen record this.
No, dude,
it's going to a penny in the next year. You watch and see.
Okay, well, give us something. So everybody in the chat thinks now that BitBoy has a lot of NIMIC and he wants it to do well. But give us an actual reason.
Heck, right. Definitely do have a lot of NIMIC for sure.
Give us,
he believes in it.
But I also was calling it when I had hardly any, and it was number 500 on CoinMarketCap, and now it's as of today, I think it was at like 130, and that one's going to continue to move. And once it gets, I said a penny. It's going to $1. That's what I meant to say. It's going to $1. It's at like 0.7 of a penny right now. This one's going to continue to climb. NIMIC has been around for a long time. Okay. And they did absolutely no marketing. Go look at their team. They have a really strong team. Okay. They built a really good product. They built the first proof of work, one-click mining with a browser. They built the first one. You were able to mine it from your browser directly. Okay. Now they're getting ready to launch their proof of stake, which will be out at the end of this year. And it's been on this big of a run without even being able to move over to that proof of stake. That's why it's undervalued. Look at these projects that switched to proof of stake. Zilliqa recently did it. A
lot, dude. It seems like everything is moving.
Kyber recently did. These projects, they weren't on runs until these switches over to POS started, and then they shot way up. Okay. With NIMIC, it's already on this run, and this POS is just now getting talked about. It's called the Albatross, consensus algorithm. It's coming at the end of this year, and then when staking comes onto NIMIC, it's going to take it to another level. What we've seen with a lot of these projects have already been able to do, and then that move over to proof of stake shoots them up. When Ethereum goes over to proof of stake, let me tell you, if you're not holding 32 Ethereum for a node and you have money in crypto, you're an idiot.
I'm an idiot. I'm not holding it, but I can see Ethereum doing really well. I'm an idiot.
Ethereum's going to kill it. I mean, if you have enough money to get 32 Ethereum, which is what, about 7, 8?
I know that's the problem.
Is that right? Or am I way off on that? Maybe it's
a lot. I'd rather get Bitcoin, honestly. Am I brainwashed?
Yes. Yes. The toxic maximalininity. Toxic maximalininity.
We're fundamentalists, but
we're not maximalists. But you didn't really answer the question. I agree with your argument that all proof of stake is hot right now. Everybody wants to stake their coins. When retail gets back in, they're going to want to stake their coins. But why is NIMIC any different from anything that's going to go to anything can switch to proof of stake? Almost.
Well, we've already seen the run. It's been okay. Listen, we're getting semantical here with what is the most undervalued. I can give you projects. I can give you projects in the 1200s on CoinMarketCap that I believe are going to be monsters. I can give you ones in the 800s. I'm trying to give people one that they know, at least that but maybe you've seen some people talking about it recently. If you've been paying attention to CoinMarketCap, you've seen it shoot up. And even with as much as it's gone up, I still feel like it is going to pump more than almost any other project in the top 150. I think when it moves over to this proof of stake, that is going to be absolutely huge. And, it's not even on, other than KuCoin, on major exchanges right now. And I know they're working on some stuff with some other exchanges. And when that comes in, now you're going to have more, room to grow, because most people, if I gave the list of exchanges, anyone new to cryptocurrency, maybe other than KuCoin, hasn't even heard of it. And people that are new don't even know what KuCoin is. If NIMIC is able to eventually get on Coinbase or Binance, or I don't know, it may be on Huobi. I always think of Binance and Coinbase is the end all be all. Like, those are the two listings you want. If it's able to get one of those listings, it's got even more to run. So, I mean, to me, when you look at a project that's has came out of the 400s and has moved up to the 100s, is due for a correction. There's no doubt about it. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt, whatever y'all want to do. But I still think it's got more room to run. And I think that this is a project people have heard of. And I don't want to give you, I can't give you my super secret altcoin picks. I'm giving those tomorrow on my channel.
Oh my God.
You guys want to hit your 3 coins to $3 million, you go find those puppies.
I go through your channel and you can, there's like, there's a lot of videos where I can be like, oh, okay, I want these coins to $1 million. I don't care about the new video. You already picked my million coins.
I can't even invest in all the coins that I talk about, but this, I've probably talked about, this is why people get so mad at me, a lot of people that complain about my channel and complain about me, they don't know me. Like they don't actually watch the channel. They just might see a thumbnail, or they might say, I said 1000X in a thumbnail, or I did this, or I've literally never in the history of my channel, literally never done a paid sponsorship that was not disclosed, not one single time. I would swear on the Bible on that. Okay. So people don't really know me, and they don't really understand the research that I put in these coins and why I talk about them a lot. You also have to separate my monthly altcoin picks. Those are based on what's going to happen over the month. And then there's so many undervalued ones. Like I probably talked about 80 to 100 different altcoins over the last year, in videos, probably about 80 to 100. People say that's a huge number. Call me in 6 months. Call me in 6 months and tell me that was a huge number. Call me this time next year. Call me this time next year. When we're at the peak of this thing, pretty much, and tell me the 80 to 100 was enough, because it won't be. There will be plenty of these coins. Now, will all 80 or 100 outperform the average? Probably not. But heck, if 20 of them do, and they do wildly, then hey, I exposed people to those and gave them a shot.
First of all, BitBoy, we all love you. And,
I love your passion, dude. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
As content creators, I can vouch for you, and everybody kind of understands this. You make the title engaging and the thumbnail engaging. You don't want to deceive anybody, but you make it engaging. But you have to actually watch the video to see what's actually coming out of your mouth, because sometimes in the title you're quoting somebody else or quoting an article or doing whatever, But
And you know what? Sometimes I'll have a title. Like I had one about crypto.com when they had the wire, what was it called? WireX or no?
Yeah,
Wirecard.
The European the European card partner or whatever took that, stopped working with crypto.com, and it caused
Well, it didn't stop working with them. It popped. It was a Ponzi scheme.
Oh yeah, that So crypto.com
Wirecard.
In this case wasn't the Ponzi scheme.
They were
the victim, and they were working with a Ponzi scheme who wasn't in crypto, but in a credit card. It was just crazy. I
know, that's the thing. Like I was talking to somebody, they're like, why are there all these crazy Ponzi schemes in crypto? I'm like, this is traditional finance. They were the victim here. So anyways, I had a title of that one where I said, is crypto.com done? $2.1 billion Ponzi scheme. And I got a lot of people that sent me messages that were like, that was misleading. You're making it look like crypto.com was a Ponzi scheme. And you know what? I listened to that. I was like, you know what, guys? Like, I'll listen to criticism. I was like, you know what? I think you could be right there. So you know what I did? I changed it. Sometimes I'll change a title. I'll listen to criticism. I try not to mislead people, but I mean, sensational.
But you're not.
The way the media has been running since the history of media began.
And you're not giving people buy and sell signals. It's not like you're responsible. But like, just so for the record though, crypto.com, the haters will say it's a Ponzi, but then haters say a lot of things in crypto are Ponzi's. Do you think crypto.com is a legitimate crypto project?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I haven't looked too much into it, but it seems the interface seems awesome.
It's the best app in crypto. You can find any crypto project and there's something written about how it's a scam. Literally anyone, and you know what it's like being in this space. You cannot make everyone happy. You can make a statement about something and half of the people in your comments are, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. And then the other half are, you're such a scammer for talking about that. Like,
I know.
That's just the way that it goes. Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete of my entire lifetime. People say he was overrated now. Like, what? If people say Michael Jordan was overrated, you can't make everybody happy. And that's why, I will listen to criticism. I won't listen to haters because, look, I'm out here trying to do the best job that I can. And I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And so I can't make everybody happy. And it's, with crypto.com, just going back to that, for me, this is a new thing where people are saying it's a Ponzi scheme. People don't understand tokenomics and the way scarcity and locking up tokens works. If you have 1 million tokens in a project, and let's say the founder of that project, and I don't know the token breakdown for crypto.com, but let's say the founder of that project owns 20% of those tokens. Okay. Let's say that the team, whatever, they own 20% of those tokens. So you got 800,000 tokens that are left. Well, if 500,000 of those tokens get put into staking and removed from the supply, and you've only got 300,000 that can be bought or sold, the value of those tokens that those founders hold are going to be out of this world, you know? And I think a lot of times people forget about like exactly how staking works. And I think that has to do with, you know, crypto.com's model of how they make money, or able to offer all these discounts, because the more they pull people into the ecosystem, the more they're able to pull their tokens off of the market, the more scarce those become. And then however much they own, you know, in their lockups or whatever, or their vesting schedules, whatever it might be. I mean, those go way, way up. So you don't have to necessarily be making money on transactions to make money in crypto. I think that's a fundamental misunderstanding.
Let's, we don't have to talk about crypto.com the whole time, but just generally speaking, and we'll move on. Everybody's staking their coins, saying crypto.com is safe because if they stake their coins, they have tons of money. It doesn't seem like this cycle it's going to be good, but like, it doesn't seem like in the long term, everybody just printing their own money and staking and like growing their own coins that they made themselves.
The government does it.
That's true, but the government will also shut that down if you're centralized.
Yeah, true.
Like it's not.
I'm just making fun of the government there. That wasn't really a statement on crypto.
Okay, but like it does seem like they might do really well this cycle, because the people's urge to stake seems like that's something people are definitely interested in. But I don't think like after a couple cycles, there's going to be all these coins. I think eventually, once this thing scales, once Bitcoin becomes truly a part of the conversation, governments are going to start cracking down on things that they can. And if it's centralized, Electronium, crypto.com, I'm not saying those are centralized, but I think they are. Like the governments could come to their offices and shut it down. That's the risk, right? That's the risk.
I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah, sure. But a government, like, I think that's also a fundamental misunderstanding of what the government does in those situations. The government, let's take IOST, for instance, another project that I really like. It's the most involved I am in any crypto project. I run a block producing node for them. You know, I've been involved with with IOST since their mainnet launch. I'm the only person that's been, you know, what they call a tier 1 creator for 6 quarters. Okay.
And what is the value prop there? What is EOST?
Like IOST is not.
Sorry. What do you do with it? What do you pay for stuff or?
I mean, it's a DApp platform. It's just like EOS or Tron.
Okay.
Pretty much. It's the voting is more decentralized. It uses something called why can I not think? Proof of believability is the consensus algorithm. It's basically DPoS. But anyway, the point here is I run a node for them. I really like IOST and stuff like that. But I want to talk about a thing that happened with IOST that was a pretty major thing. Okay. And I think for you guys that are like, this is centralized and you're going to lose all your money and you're blah, 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 blah. No, you're not.
I'm just saying in the long term. I'm just saying in the long term, I think it will pump.
Well, no. I'm talking about if the government goes in and shuts them down, what that looks like for you as a holder. Okay. People have this fundamental misunderstanding of the government's role with cryptocurrency. That unless you're evading your taxes, they're not coming after you. If you're leverage trading on Bybit with a VPN and you're an American, guess what? The government's not going after you. They're good. They might go after Bybit. The SEC might go after them. I'm not saying that. I'm not making an accusation. I'm using an example. Okay. Any exchange that is overseas. Okay. The SEC could go after them maybe for having sloppy practices for allowing people to sign up. You as a person who uses the site are not going to be affected by that. The SEC protects you. It does not protect the companies that are violating the laws. Okay. That's why when you have these tokens, you know, that go by, they're not going after the people. They're not going after the investors. They're going after the people that they're Centra Card, for instance. They're not going after people that bought Centra. They went after the people that promoted it. They went after
sure. And I don't think they are going after the users. But I'm saying, like with the example, I think they'll go after the companies.
Correct.
Like the example of eGold, like the eGold from the 2000s or whatever. Yeah. Wouldn't that same thing that the government shut eGold down happen to an Electronium or what have you?
So IOST was working with an exchange called BIS. It was in China. Okay. This is a real life example of something that literally did happen. Okay. They were working with BIS. BIS was actually their launch pad to promote, to push their voting. Okay. So we all made videos on how to vote with BIS and all this stuff. Then they came out with some decentralized voting methods. Okay. And so you stake your coins decentralized in your wallet and you're able to vote. But then you were staking it on BIS, on a centralized exchange. You were locking them up and voting. BIS got invaded by the Chinese government. Okay. Or raided. Chinese government shut BIS down. And there were millions of dollars of IOST on BIS. And the Chinese government didn't steal the tokens. The people at BIS got arrested and got in trouble. Now, the people at BIS got arrested for nothing to do with cryptocurrency. They were selling American stocks through their exchange. And that was what they got in trouble for. So nothing to even do with cryptocurrency. And the Chinese government allowed it to stay open enough. And we're talking about the Chinese government here, not the United States government, for all the holders that were at least aware of the situation we talked about to go get your money off. So yeah, guess what? Maybe something might happen. Who knows with government overreach, what could happen? And if you don't think that, all the governments of the world could band together and, prevent anyone from putting money in Bitcoin, they could. They shut down every on and off ramp. It's unlikely because you don't have, you would have to have 100% cooperation from every government in the world, which you're never going to have. But like hypothetically, that could happen. So yeah, I'm sure that some of these other projects could get a knock at the door and they could possibly get shut down. I don't think it will happen. That's why they choose places like Singapore to operate. But if it did,
if it scales in the Western world,
you're going to be able to get your money off that exchange.
But
you're not going to just go broke.
You won't. Yeah, but like the token value will probably go down if like the company gets raided, and then you'd sell it at a lower price.
Well, yeah, we say it all the time in crypto. I mean, what's the big deal? Yeah. It's a risk. Right. I mean, it was all with Tron, right? I mean, Tron didn't even actually get raided. I mean, they had they didn't get raided at all. There was a Ponzi scheme that was being ran out of an office that had a Tron sign on it, and it got raided. And the token price dropped, even though they didn't have anything to do with it. So some people say they still do.
I'm saying that's why it's not a long-term hold for me, because of risks like that with certain things. Like
once again, that's why I said possible.
Sure.
Could we get to a point? I think one of the values in crypto.com is bringing on adoption. If we get to a place where everybody's using the debit card, but yeah, I mean, that's something that people have to take a hard look at. I mean, what is the current sentiment and direction of regulation in crypto? Is it going to get tighter? Is it going to get looser? I think it's going to get looser.
Let's roll through some super chats, Austin.
I just want to say that overwhelmingly half the super chats are saying, great conversation. We love this conversation.
People like BitBoy. I can tell.
Once they get to know me, they like me. A lot of people do not like me at first, and I understand. I've got a really strong personality, and I've rubbed a lot of people wrong in my life when they first get to meet me. But then over time, a lot of people, I win them over.
Well, you can hang. Like not a lot of people in life generally can hang. You can hang.
Appreciate it, dude.
Ooh, the hang seal of approval from Aaron.
Hey, by the way, everybody who's watching right now, hit the like button, smash up the like button.
I encourage everybody, obviously BitBoy, answer as much as you want to, but generally speaking, I have 5 different questions. Maybe just keep them under a minute. I don't know. We've been going an hour, guys.
I mean, have you heard me talk? I'm sorry.
Well,
I love it.
I know BitBoy, you'll like this question, and I don't remember who wrote this, but Velas. If that's how you pronounce it. I know you recently talked about it on your channel. Somebody's asking.
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
I love Velas. I think Velas it's another one of those underrated. I mean, it's hard to say Velas is underrated. Like it's had some problems with CoinMarketCap. If you guys knew that they had a top 200 criteria. I'm actually privy to know why Velas had some issues getting in that top 200. But it's just a paperwork issue. So once that gets taken care of, they're actually going to
shoot. What's the value prop? What's the value prop? What is it? DApp coin? Bank coin?
What? Bank coin? DApp coin?
No,
No. Velas is trying to build just, a whole ecosystem where they've got a really nice wallet. They're going to have staking built in, just like every other, I mean, once again, when we talk about the tech of these projects, they all kind of sound
I was wondering the market
into that stuff on the channel.
I was just wondering what the marketing department says it is. I just didn't know what it was.
Well, Velas is an ecosystem for their token to flourish. There you go.
Okay.
It's actually a coin. They have their own chain. Okay. But when you really get into the differences between a lot of these projects, I like to look at the things outside of the tech because I get so bored talking about freaking nodes. Okay. I don't care how many nodes you got. And I don't care what your TPS test said. I don't care about your test net. Okay. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care about your architecture. I don't care about your infrastructure. I don't care about it. What I care about is the fundamental stuff around your project. And the things about Velas that I like is they have a really strong founder. Okay. Alex Alexandrov. He's the founder of Coin Payments. Okay. Now, if you didn't know, Coin Payments is the biggest company that makes way for retail adoption. So they allow retailers to accept over 1,900 different cryptocurrencies online or, business to business. Okay. So Coin Payments, if anybody knows about it, is a very, very well-established company. Their founder stepped down, or he's been the CEO. He was one of the original three founders, I believe, not the founder, but he stepped down as his role as official CEO of Coin Payments to start Velas. He's still a major shareholder. And this is a guy who's a crypto OG. He was at the Satoshi Roundtable. He's been in crypto. He was early miner. He's been in crypto forever. This guy knows what he's doing. He has done more for adoption retail wise than almost anybody else in the whole space with Coin Payments. Now he's got Velas, and he wants Velas to be adopted in the same way. They got some really cool stuff coming up. Like I don't think I can announce this thing that they have coming up yet. I would love to, but it's there's only one other company in all of crypto that's doing this thing. And when this thing comes out, people are going to be like, that's a cool story. Like, that's a cool thing that's going on in crypto. And it's not going to be lame, Like
user interface or partner or
technology. I just said how much I hate tech. It's more like it's a real world technology people are going to be familiar with. It's not like only crypto people will understand it. So they're going to launch something and it's going to be really cool. And it's going to make big waves and big headlines. So once they get this coin market cap issue straightened out, they're going to shoot up to the top 100 and then everybody's going to be paying attention. Because right now their market cap, they should be around number 75, I think. So they got strong leadership team. They've got a lot of good stuff going on with Velas. So I can see it definitely getting up in the top, maybe top 30 or so.
Dude, how are you privy to the big announcement? You're working with them?
Yeah. I know them. Yeah, I know the Velas people. Yeah.
Okay, just wondering.
I had Alex Alexandrov on my podcast a couple weeks ago.
What do you think? So I'm talking about like thoughtful Bitcoin maximalists. What do you think people like Peter McCormick, Marty Bent, those guys who seem pretty thoughtful, what do you think they don't? Well, what do you mean by
it's their business? It's their business to talk Bitcoin. Why would they want altcoins to do well?
Well, they could make it their business to talk the entire cryptocurrency market like we do.
But they're a corner of the market. Why would they do that? You got to look at the motivation behind what a lot of these Bitcoin maximalists talk about. It's driven by money, just like altcoins are driven.
Well, they could say the same thing about you.
These people are not so fundamental, and understand money principles so well that they're above any altcoin. No, that's how they make their money. Peter McCormick, I love Peter McCormick. Don't get me wrong.
Well, he talked about
like $400,000 a month or something or 40,000 on his podcast. Why would he talk about anything else?
60 grand a month right now.
Whatever it is, $1 million a month.
That's a lot. That's a lot to me. 60 grand a month.
Yeah,
but they also reason their argument, and I gotta say, I'm attracted to those reasons. If I only listen to crypto YouTubers or whatever, which is obviously a terrible idea. You got to do your own research. I wouldn't know some of the stuff that they talk about on TFTC or Bitcoin is. I wouldn't know. I like them because they explain why Bitcoin is fundamentally different and will stand the test of time or has a better shot.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that.
Like what you said about them, the same thing could be said about us. Oh, they're just talking about altcoins because, there's money to be made or something.
Well, I mean, I think there was a time when, look, if we were back in 2017 and they were talking all Bitcoin, when altcoins were pumping to the moon and Bitcoin was crashing, then maybe it's not like that. With altcoins, I've been talking about altcoins the whole time, even when it was really popular to be a Bitcoin maximalist and say that they weren't. I deeply believe. I mean, if we're all for decentralization, right? I mean, decentralization is kind of a myth, but if we're all for decentralization, okay, on some level, why would we want cryptocurrency to be centralized and there only be one choice? Why would we want that? Doesn't that go against the whole idea of?
It's not what they want. It's when they look at stuff like Electroneum or Crypto.com.
Yeah, Electroneum sucks. Let's talk let's use some better examples. Okay.
Well, Crypto.com. You like Crypto.com.
Let's use Ethereum. Let's use Chainlink.
Well, Ethereum is the best one.
Let's not pick the very bottom of the barrel projects.
Oh, sorry. Crypto.com I put on the same level as Electroneum, although I think it has tons of upside because I think that's going to be pumped to hell. Anyway, let's move on. Austin, what are some of the other questions?
I mean, I just want to say we just got a $250 super chat from Tim Lin. He says, obviously. you guys are great.
BitBoy's great. Glad to have
Yeah.
BitBoy on the channel. Anybody, BitBoy obviously doesn't have the same opinions as us, but that's why we like him. Anybody who wants to subscribe and check out BitBoy's channel, it's in the description. And everybody hit the likes if you appreciate us bringing on guests, because one of my goals is to bring on different guests or different guests with different points of views. I'm attracted to the things that Bitcoin maximalists say, even though I'm not a maximalist. But I like hearing about, I want my point of view to be challenged.
I'm going to ask these next. These are my last 3 questions. So I'm just going to get them all out there, and then we'll all have some talking points you can choose. Dragonchain, what are your thoughts on it? To Aaron and Austin specifically, we can answer this right now. Is there any coin outside of the top 10, Aaron, that you like?
Well, first of all, I want to echo what BitBoy said. I think all of these coins, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to pump, because all it takes to pump is a good marketing team and an illiquid asset. And people are going to, there's so much, this is why I sometimes push Bitcoin, even though I kind of like agree with you as well. It's just because I think people come into the space, don't realize that Bitcoin is fundamentally different from a lot of coins, and think by buying Crow coin or crypto.com coin and Bitcoin, they think because, they think it's almost the same thing. And then near the top, they get sunk. So as far as like coins that are not in the top 10 that I really like I said on the channel for the past couple of years, I don't get necessarily attached to any one narrative. I think a lot of them are going to pump, and I think that's why we're all here to invest in some coins that pump. But in the end, you want to have more Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum and maybe others, but Bitcoin for sure.
All right. So you evaded the question. You didn't give a specific coin.
Give me a choice. God damn. Okay.
Dragonchain.
Okay.
I like Nimic. Okay.
No,
Thank you.
BitBoy, what are your thoughts
Nimic.
on Dragonchain?
Dragonchain was also a recent coin that I listed on my crypto zombies list. Not
why do you like
with my friend K-Dub.
Why do you like? I like K-Dub, but why like Dragonchain?
No. You guys got to understand the methodology for me picking these coins.
Oh, I'm not holding you. We pick coins all the time. It's based on the month or whatever. I get that.
Yeah.
But Dragon coin.
These are coins. The coins I picked for that specific video. Pundi X, Dragonchain, Digitex was another one. Did I say Digitex twice? Dragonchain, Pundi X, Digitex. There were some others on that list too. They all had a very specific pattern. What we've seen is we've seen a lot of these projects that have been in the longest accumulation shoot straight up. We saw it with Kyber. We saw it with Request Network. We've seen it with a lot of projects. Those are DeFi projects, but we've seen it with other ones as well. We saw it with Icon, earlier this year. Icon was like the epitome almost of the bear market. But the one coin that was the epitome of the bear market was Dragonchain. It had the biggest losses out of anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And what you see with those 3 projects, that Digitex, Dragonchain, Pundi X, and a few others, is that they finally, after a really long period of accumulation, had that doop, like the chart goes, doop, like straight up. And I expect a lot of these projects to have a renaissance. Crypto is cyclical. When people get that in their head, like, yes, Dragonchain sucks, whatever. Like, I don't care about Dragonchain. Like, Dragonchain isn't like some kind of like great, like, behemoth of a project. It's not the ice dragon of, our time or anything like that. But will it pump? Yeah. And it's people have been down on it for so long. It's been stuck for so long. Like, cyclically, when things start rising, the ones that were down the most and for the longest have the best shot to shoot straight up, I think.
So that's like, but that's nothing about Dragonchain. That's just about the whole market.
It's about the chart. The Dragonchain chart.
It's about the price chart. I agree with you. Price is all that matters. Yeah,
they also were recently on a show, Open Source Money, that really explained the struggle
Did you watch
they
that?
had against the government and the SEC. And I'm actually going to be on Open Source Money on the episode number 4, which comes out, I think, July 25th on the Science Channel. If you guys want to check me talking about China and the United States space race that is blockchain.
Like the fight, I've seen like the previews for Open Source Money. It looks like a cool show because it's all about like the feeling about fighting against the government. I love it. That's what cryptocurrency, or that's what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is about. But like, the Dragon token, that's not money. That's not open source money. That's like a utility token. So,
well,
right?
I mean, it just describes, it just describes crypto.
They're like,
yeah,
but they're like, oh, the dragons fight against the SEC because we're open source money. Or no, that was Bitcoin, and that's already not a security. All right, so.
Well, I mean, once again,
I agree.
Bitcoin and Ethereum have been ruled not to be securities,
and
only because of when they launched.
Well, I mean, don't you think? Because I mean, do you not agree with the way they, the Howey test or whatever? Like,
I mean, do you not think Ethereum is just like every other project out there?
yeah, for sure.
You know,
I mean, I agree with it.
It's just when they launched. Like that's all. How's what you know? The ones that came after, the ones that hit during the ICO craze. I mean, Ethereum had an ICO, right? Ethereum, perfectly fits the example of a security. If you're talking to like, if you had an ICO, you're a security. People expect a return. I know people that invest in it. They were expecting a return, but it got grandfathered in. And I think XRP is going to also end up getting grandfathered in, even though it's like still kind of, hit or miss on that. But that's all it has to do with. It's not like these projects are just so great and above everything else. It's not even Bitcoin itself. Like it was established before people cared. That's the important thing, and I think that's a message I feel like is just really lost in a lot of these conversations, especially with the Bitcoin maximalists. Like I just like people to be intellectually honest about that, like Bitcoin is not, that much better than everything else. It just came before everything else.
Would you say, well, yeah, but because of that and other things,